What's up, internet? Well, I wanted to try to get a vlog up today. I did put a vlog up with me and Ashley from yesterday. Today, um, this semi is so loud. Can you hear it? But I wanted to talk about Buddhism. I sort of wanted to get off of. Been doing a lot of vlogging about random life stuff. And you know that right now that's what my channel is about. I'm trying not to limit myself. This damn semi. Sorry, it's just loud and I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, well, what I want to talk about, so I want to talk about a little more of the philosophical stuff that I wanted to start talking about. I wanted to talk about Buddhism and about emptiness, and something that I've personally dealt with. I'm going to go lean on this pole. I've always felt like in Buddhism, the term emptiness doesn't necessarily help anybody figure out what is meant by that. And I'm not entirely versed on what emptiness means, but from what I understand, and this is the way I sort of think of it, is that the term emptiness should actually be rephrased to be maybe something like essenceless. Not emptiness, because when you hear emptiness, you think like it means something doesn't exist. And in a sense that's true, but it's true. Like this thing is here, it exists, it's here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it exists by itself. Like this, this is a light pole. This light pole, you can't say it exists, because just because what we see as a thing, as an object, because it's an object doesn't mean that that's what exists, separate from, like, say for instance, like this tree behind me. You know, the tree doesn't exist, this doesn't exist, nothing really exists on its own. There's no, like, that's what emptiness means, for me at least, is that nothing exists on its own. Even though you could say this is here, and this is reality, this is something, it cannot exist without everything else. Without that tree, without me, we're all a part of it. The only thing that separates us is like air and space, time, but it's all interconnected. It's all one thing, and that's what it means by empty. It's empty of its existence. It doesn't. It's there. It exists, but it can't exist by itself. Like, for instance, if like this is destroyed, or that this tree is chopped down or destroyed, it doesn't just all of a sudden not exist, because it never existed to begin with by itself. It's a part of an infinite existence, and it's not even infinite. A lot of people that I talk to, I try to tell them that, you know, I do believe in God, but I don't believe in God like in the Judeo-Christian sort of sense. God is not a personality for me. God is this interbeing, this interconnected, ultimate existence. And I always tell people, like, they say, well, do you believe God or that reality is infinite? And I say no. And they say, do you believe it's finite? I say no. Because we like to say, you know, God or ultimate reality is infinite, but we're talking about something that we can't experience or know or fathom or put into words. We're saying the word infinite though we have no idea what it is. It's an assumption. And so reality, ultimate reality, everyone's nature, ultimate nature, God, nirvana, all of that is perfect. That's all I say. It's just It is what it is. It isn't a number. It isn't infinite. It isn't something we can describe. And so that thing is non-existent. It doesn't exist like in a framework where you can say this is what it is. And so ultimately, since this pole is a part of it, since that tree over there is a part of it, they don't exist either. It's empty of self. It is empty of being able to say this pole exists, and then when it's destroyed, it doesn't exist, because all it is transformed. It's fluxed into reality. And I know it's really hard to understand. And if you look it up, you really become, you'll, hopefully some people will agree with me that emptiness is just sort of a confusing word. I think essenceless is a better term to use. Man, holding up a camera, tough. Essenceless, I think, is a better term to use. And it's just ultimately realizing, in Buddhism they call it oneness. And it's funny because I don't like to put numbers on it, but we have to, because that's the world we live in. We live in a world, in a perception, in a relative reality that we put numbers, names on. And I hope I didn't pause my video. No, I didn't pause my video. I push buttons sometimes on the phone. But yeah, so that's sort of what I wanted to talk about, because I remember emptiness. The concept of emptiness was something that bothered me whenever I first started looking into Buddhism, because it was a concept that I had already been trying to deal with. I had already begun thinking about God, but then before I called ultimate reality God, God nature. God was neither infinite nor finite. God was just perfect. Ultimate reality is perfect. You're perfect. This thing is perfect because it's all connected to the main source. It isn't disconnected. So I hope that sort of helps somebody that was as confused as I am understand maybe a little bit more about emptiness. I'd appreciate your comments if you have sort of a perspective on emptiness yourself, or an experience with what you think it is. I just, like I said, I have always thought emptiness was a hard thing to understand in Buddhist thought. And it just takes understanding that something, like my existence, Aubrey here, um, doesn't exist. I don't exist by myself. I exist because the entire world that surrounds me, everything within me, that's what I truly am. I am truly this non-infinite, non-finite force, and so is everything else. So are you, so is the camera I'm holding, so is that tree, this pole, the cop that's gonna pass right by here in a minute. He's like, what is this guy doing talking to his phone? That's what emptiness, I think, is. See you later, Internet.